Good morning. I just wanted to do a quick video actually. I've been receiving a couple of questions, the same questions from quite a lot of people. So I thought I'd just do something and just clarify my opinion. I'm not saying this is definitely what's happened, but this is what I think may have happened. So I'm just going to start with the first one was I posted a video last night where the judge has granted the extension requested by all the collective parties. And in amongst that is a December 5th deadline, which extends the deadline to complete the depositions of experts in this case. The parties agree that any expert upon which a party intends to rely, either in support of or in opposition to a motion for summary judgment, will be made available for deposition 7 days before the applicable briefing deadline. And a lot of people said, oh, great, does that mean that Wayfarer can still depose Taylor Swift? No, is the answer to that, because she is not an expert. She would be a fact witness, and the deadline for that has already closed. Wayfarer did attempt to get that extended. It was denied. So this does not extend that, though. This is for experts being, sort of professionals, experts in damages, in reputation. There's a lot of some of the claims include the use of digital bots and social media manipulation. So there will be experts in those kind of things, and that is what this refers to. The deadlines have already passed for any cast, crew, family, other professionals like WME or Sony. So none of those people can be deposed at this point. And this extension is purely for expert testimony only. The other thing I was asked was, as a follow-up to that question actually, was, does that mean Taylor Swift hasn't been deposed? And the answer to that is, I do not know. No one does, actually, except for the actual parties involved. Unless something is filed, such as like a portion of transcript, we will not know for some time whether there was a deposition of Taylor Swift or not. That does not mean she has not been deposed, but it also does not mean she hasn't been. She did say that she wasn't available before, a specific time. I think it was October 20th. And obviously Wayfarer attempted to extend the deadline. They requested an extension to accommodate that, and it was denied. But that does not mean that there was no negotiation behind the scenes for her to commit to a couple of hours over Zoom or something. We just don't know if a deposition has taken place or not at this point. So we may see something, we may not, but no one can say for sure she has been deposed or she hasn't. So that's that side. The second question I've been asked is, where is this audio? And then last night, DFJ posted that she had actually been in contact with the Southern District of New York, and she had been told no audio has been filed, only a cover sheet has been filed. And I can well believe that she would have been told that, but I do think that whoever she spoke to may have given out incorrect information. And there's a few reasons for this. It may be that that's what's happened. I think for me, like, if there was no audio filed, the first thing that crosses my mind is, well, when Wayfarer filed a letter referring to this specifically and, asking for it to be unsealed, they would have said what is Lively talking about? There's no filing, there's no audio, it's just a cover sheet. They would have brought that to the judge's attention themselves. And then the second question that made me think something's not right is in the judge's order here. In this footnote, the judge says, although the Wayfarer parties assert that they have no opposition to sealing the declarant's name, the audio recording reveals the declarant's identity. So the judge has listened to this audio. So there must be audio filed somewhere because Wayfarer are aware of it and wanted it unsealed. They did not say that it hasn't been filed. And the judge has specifically pointed to the fact that the audio itself, it kind of rebuts Lively's argument for keeping it sealed in that, well, we can't unseal it because, because it's not fair for the identity of the declarant to become known. And Wayfarer said, well, that's fine. Keep the identity secret. We've got no problem with that, but unseal the recording. And the judge specifically said, was no, there's actually no point, trying to keep the declarant's identity a secret because the audio itself reveals the name. So something's there. My personal experience of SDNY and dealing with them, because obviously I have filed stuff with them, and here, let just share this. This is this is a letter I filed. This was after the motion to quash. It's a letter dated the 28th of July. And I filed this. This was after the judge said, Ezra did her filing of, just deny the motions to quash as moot. We got what we wanted. We had a meet and fair. And the five of us got quite annoyed by the language and the use, and we all filed a follow-up letter to say, hold on a minute. She's talking rubbish. What she's saying, she's misrepresenting what actually happened here. We all wanted to have something on record to kind of say we don't agree with how this is being framed. And this is mine. This is docket number 615. It's a hard copy. I sent by email on the 28th of July, same day. I sent a copy of this by email. On the 4th of August, whilst I was still on holiday, I called and I was like, well, where is it? Because everyone else's has hit the docket and mine hadn't. I was like, something's not right. So, I chased it up with them and I was told on the phone, oh, yeah, we can see your email, but there's no file attached to it. That was the first thing they said was, no, there's no file. I was like, there is a file. I was looking in my sent box at the actual email. I was like, yes, there's a file there. What are you talking about? So, and then it changed to, oh, yes, well, there was a file attached, but it must be corrupt. Just something's gone wrong, and it's not, for whatever reason, it's not been accepted. And I was like, well, can you not tell me what the problem was? First, they tried to say, oh, the size of the file was too big. I was like, no, it wasn't. The size of this file was, it was no bigger. In fact, I believe it was smaller than my motion to quash, and there was no problem with that. And then they were like, well, it must have been corrupted. I was like, right, okay, this is really helpful. As I said, right, okay, well, if I send it another one by, email, will that help? She said, probably not, because if there's a problem with this one, you're probably going to have a problem with the next one, right? So I sat there and I was like, okay, I come off the phone. And then I spoke to someone who was an American resident, and I said, if I send this to you and I send you money via PayPal to pay for the postage cost, would you please, post it for overnight delivery so it gets there the next day? And they did. Really grateful that Lara actually did that, which was really helpful. So I emailed this over to Lara. She printed it. I sent her money via PayPal to cover the cost, and she very kindly sent it, and it arrived at the court, as you can see on stamp, on the 6th of August. I can't remember if we just missed, we got it there on the 4th, took it for the delivery, but it just missed the time to go that day, and it had to go the next day or something like that. But anyway, it arrived on 6th of August, and you can see it was uploaded on the 12th of August. So this was the hard copy. And you can see this is the hard copy because when they've scanned it in, this page here is askew. It's it's misaligned. However, docket number 559 is the same letter. Filed the 4th of August, uploaded the 5th of August, following day. So the day after my phone call, after telling me, no, there's no attachment to the email. Oh, there is an attachment, but it's too big. Or maybe it's not too big, but it's probably corrupted. There's no stamp on here because this is not a hard copy. This is the electronic copy. All the pages are aligned perfectly. They miraculously found it, meeting the size criteria, not uncorrupted, and they uploaded it the next day. As the hard copy was being carted over to the court. And I will just say this, right? They got that the electronic copy went up the next day. If we just go back to the hard copy, although they got it they both were received on the 6th of August. Sorry, one was received on the 5th and uploaded on the 6th. This was received on the 6th. It didn't get uploaded for another 6 days. So my own personal experience is the advice that you get when you ring the court and you speak to someone and say, I sent you this, what's happened to it? Or, can you tell me what's happened to this filing? You do not get necessarily accurate advice, not because they're not trying their best. It may be someone that's quite new and inexperienced. It may be someone who just doesn't know. Maybe something's been erroneously kind of coded, marked, whatever. I have no doubt that the FJ was told, nothing was filed. I don't believe that no audio was filed because the evidence is not supporting that. The fact that the fact that Wayfarer have not said, well, hold on a minute, what audio are you referring to in these filings? What audio am I unsealing here? The fact that the judge heard the declarant identify themselves, heard Claire Ayubi identify herself in her recording, does not stack up with the fact that there was no audio filed. So I think this is a case of bad advice from the court. And these filing systems, they're not, I think not actually Golden has already said this, but I will reiterate because I agree. These systems, and it's the same in the UK as well, they are not they're not kind of designed really to to kind of handle audio filings very well. So we will get it at some point, that there will just have to be like it'll either take a bit longer, or that someone will have to do something different. It may be that Ezra Hudson needs to refile it. So I don't know how they're going to do it, to answer that question, because I know people say, "Oh, how will it?" I don't know, because I don't know the American system. But and some people have said, "Oh, is it something to do with the change in rules?" No, it's not. So the rules change for documents that were sealed, and that affects only the parties, because the public can't see sealed documents anyway. So that changes nothing for us, the general public. The new rules just mean that if something is sealed, if one of the parties needs a copy, they used to be able to just go to the docket and take it off, because they had that access to the sealed filings on the docket. Now they would have to go to one of the other parties, or go to the court and request a copy from there. They can't just access it on the docket. So it's access to sealed documents and filings that is affected. But I mean, the because the actual declaration itself, Claire Ayubi's declaration, that was in the same filing as the audio. So there will not be, this rule won't affect one exhibit but not another. So that doesn't make sense. I think it's just because it's audio, which has complicated things a little bit. But I'm sure we will get it soon. I don't know when, I don't know how. I'm sure someone will figure this out, because there is a right of public access. Judge Lyman did, categorically state that in his order to unseal. So, yeah, we will get it. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you, and I will see you at the next one.